Started off stealing bicycles, then I stole cars. And then later on, I never hurt nobody. Never had to harm anybody when I was robbing. But no one individual. I mean, I'm talking about places like real estate companies and loan companies. They got me. Yeah, they caught me.
Now, why did you decide that you needed to start breaking the law?
Well, I wanted more money. I wasn't making enough money working, you know, and I was with people that knew how to do that. And
did you worry?
It's nothing to be proud of. I'm glad I did get caught. I really am. Made me a better person. And the only thing, I've been in about 3 or 4 jails, the only thing that those jails taught me, the other jails taught me, was how not to go back to them same jails no more. But when I went to Lawton, that's where I got my education. I got my high school diploma, and I learned how to play the guitar down there. And I also became a semi-counselor down there because I used to help keep a lot of guys out of trouble. So did Petey Green. Petey Green left, got out as a short while after I got there. And
now you got there, as I understand it, for aggravated assault. You had shot some guy.
Yeah, he was gambling and he gonna take his money back. So and he had a gun, so I ended up taking it from him.
And he got shot.
Right.
And then
threw the gun down the sewer hole, and they caught me. And, you know, I went to Lawton, but then they dropped that charge and charged me with another charge that I ended up doing time for. They switched the time from that. They gave me 11 years for that, but they switched that over to, you know, I had a writ of habeas corpus. You got some good jailhouse lawyers down there, and they turned that overturned that whole charge. And I did 8 years. They gave me 8 years for something, you know, like receiving stolen property and some things that I used to buy, get stuff from guys coming. I give them a little bit of money for what they done stolen, and I resell it. And
so now
I got busted for that.
Did they change the charge to murder because the guy that you shot ended up dying?
Well, he ended up dying because he messed with somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. And so they had to overturn that. But see, the bullet was still in him. You see what I'm saying? And then when he got hooked, when he got out of the hospital and go to somebody else, you know, he's one of those type of guys, you know, and go to somebody else, and they busted him up, and the bullet moved to his spine. And that's what killed him.
I see. Okay.
Not me. I didn't. That wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed Lawton? I mean, I read someplace you said it was the best. It was the best penitentiary.
Best jail I ever been to. I've been to Virginia State Penitentiary, Richmond, Virginia. From there to the chain gang up in West Virginia. Helped build some of them highways up through there, all up through the mountains there, and I learned not to go there no more. But when I went to Lawton is a school. It was a school for me. It was a place for me to get myself together.
And the other penitentiaries, in terms of what made you not want to go back there to those places anymore, was what? I mean,
I didn't learn nothing. You know, it wasn't nothing to do but some time. And every jail that I went to, I've met some of my buddies, some of my old school buddies. I don't care if it was in Ohio. I got locked up there one time. I met a couple of my buddies that I went to school with up there. And but I didn't have much time in those jails. But what I learned in those jails was how not to go back to them no more. I learned nothing. It was nothing, you know.
Yeah. But you know, there's some young people today who think, you know, going to jail is not such a big deal.
I think it's terrible because jails now are not like they were then. See, now you got jails full of killers and gangs, and you know, they didn't have no gangs in jail. They had maybe 2 or 3 guys used to hang together, but they didn't have no organized gangs, 10, 15, 20, 30 members, you know. That's what they got now in some of those jails. And that is just so painful and disgusting. The way they're running those gangs in them jails.
So when you were there, they didn't have gangs. It sounds like you're talking about being on a chain gang. They did work you.
Yeah, right. Chain gang. I mean, you got a gang of convicts working. I mean, you can ride up through West Virginia now and see them out on the road cleaning the highways. You know, we did all that. You know, and that's chain gang. You got a man standing over you with a gun. When I was there, you had a shotgun and a rifle. One guard and a foreman had a shotgun. But there wasn't a whole lot of escaping going on.
What was the toughest part of being in jail?
Oh, the toughest part, I would say, for me, it wasn't the work. It wasn't the hard work. It was the way that they treated you, you know. Back in them days, they call you black, and they give you the N-word, and throw you in jail, get in there, and throw you in the hole, you know, for looking at. You're not supposed to look at the officers when he's talking to you. You're not supposed to look at him in his eye. You hold your head down or look over on the side. That was the toughest part. You know, I like to look people in the eye when I'm talking to them, you know, but you couldn't do that in West Virginia. You couldn't do that in the Richmond State Penitentiary down there on 500 Spring Street, which is called now Browns Island. And I was told by one of the officials, hey, Chuck, they named this island after you. I don't know whether he was kidding or what. I said, well, when are you going to give me the ceremony? You know what I mean? Well, that's the spot where I play every year. That was, that's the spot where the Virginia State Penitentiary was before they tore it down.
Wow.
And that was the toughest part, not being able to look the sergeant or the captain or the private in the eye.
Like an equal.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to hold your head down and be humble, because if you didn't, you may not never get out the hole. You might stay in the hole 3 months.
And the hole was what?
Solitary confinement, 4 or 5 beans a day, a small piece of bread, and they might give you a half a full meal. You come out there, you lost 20, 30 pounds. They might give you a biscuit a day and a small cup of water, cement floor all day long, a bucket in the corner. At night, they throw an old dirty mattress in there for you to sleep on, about the size of that table there. That was the toughest part.
And you could be in there for weeks.
You could be in there for months.
Months.
You could die in there. They didn't care nothing about you.